Hey Copper Nerds, when I started getting into numismatics, I was able to buy a peace dollar or a Morgan dollar for 20 bucks. And as we see here today, these melt for 80 bucks a piece. Around that same time, I was picking up some hard times tokens, for about 20 bucks. And today, these are worth, about 20 bucks. Is that good, bad, otherwise? Let's get into it. Let's talk about it. So I think diversity is important. I talk about copper on this channel, but I'm a silver and gold stacker as well. At least I used to be. That's the only gold piece I keep out. But as the prices continued to get higher, I sort of bowed out when gold was a little over 2,000 and silver was going over like 40. And was that a good or a bad decision? With hindsight right now, a bad decision, probably. I could have stacked up more gold and silver if that's all I was into. But I'm not just a stacker, I'm also a numismatist. And when I decided to get into numismatics, numismatic gold and silver has always been very expensive. But numismatic copper, the entry is very affordable. Again, 20 bucks gets you into some hard times tokens and some early American copper coins in lower grade. And if you've got a $50 budget, you can get some pretty decent early American copper and other copper coinage. If you go take a look at my budget series that I did, what you can buy on a set budget, in those $50 and $75 and $100 budget videos, you can get some pretty cool stuff. And the entry price remains the same. So right now, if you're trying to get into gold and silver, I think it's not the right time to get into it. I'm heavily into it, but I'm not trying to buy much at the moment. And not everyone agrees with me there. And some of you might not be in a position to afford spending at minimum, $80 to $100 for a silver piece. But you've got that $20 budget that you have, that I used to have when I was getting this stuff. And there's some good options out there for you. I think that now is the time for everyone to consider regrouping, refocusing, and considering some numismatic copper as part of their collecting. Their values hold. I think you're at a bigger risk of buying something that's based on a precious metal while it's on a run and then being stuck with that investment dropping potentially in the future. I don't think it's going to necessarily, but it's a possibility. Whereas copper is very stable, and the trends are not as erratic as what we've been seeing in precious metals lately. So I think it's worth noting that copper is an opportunity for you to continue investing in numismatics in a coin collection without dealing with the current volatility of gold and silver. If you're hesitant and doing nothing, look at some copper. There's lots of cool stuff out there. I like these druids. They're pretty neat, the Druid pennies. I like the old British stuff. There's some cool old Russian stuff. My particular love is 1794 large cents, and you can get something like this for a couple $100. And it's going to hold its value. These are not going to drop down to nothing. And if anything, I think that early copper is soft right now and has a lot of upside potential. Not dramatic stuff like we've seen with silver lately. But there's also some really neat history to hold in your hands. And this is a 1823 N2. It's the only non-overdate 1823 large cent. These things are pretty neat. And I collect this one because I have the 1823 restrikes. I don't have them pulled out at the moment, but just a lot of interesting numismatic history you can get your hands on affordably in copper, which you used to be able to do in silver to some degree, but not so much lately. I mean, this was a $30 Silver Eagle, and now it's worth over $100. So this is the pocket piece of mine. I carried it around and then I tossed it on the desktop. But just some food for thought, you guys. We've been talking copper here at this channel since its inception, but maybe give it a look if you haven't. If you're a gold and silver stacker like I am and like I used to be actively, I've found a lot of joy collecting early American and world copper coinage. And if you're into numismatics and you're not in a position to spend the money that you're going to have to for silver pieces at the moment, give copper a look. That's all I'm saying. Thanks for checking this one out. Feel free to hit me up in the comments, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace. So if you're hearing this, you are watching this video on my Dan Talks Silver channel. My main channel is called Dan Talks Cents. I've got about 500 and some videos over there, and a pretty good following for the niche community that it is. So if you have been continuing to stack gold and silver while it's been on the run, I mean, congratulations, you've done very well. I'm happy with what my acquisition cost is on gold and silver, being about $2,000 on gold and about $32 on silver for my stack. But I switched to numismatic copper a while back when I decided to be a little more diverse, and I do everything diverse. That's what I've talked about on this channel before in the few videos that I've done, but I'm into real estate and classic cars and small businesses on top of metals, on top of numismatics. So if you are considering numismatic copper, stop on by the Dan Talks Cents channel, and I look forward to seeing you there. Peace.